Welcome, everybody, to the Atlanta Sea County live stream, where everything that you could ever dream of is readily available. Because what else could you ever want when you have your hosts, Adam Jewell and Brendan Traxler? Brendan, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Good week. Good weekend.
Right on then.
You told me I wasn't allowed to talk about Bengals anymore, so it's just like I don't know what else to talk. No, I don't have any updates yet because not until this weekend. So I have to hear about it from me today, anyways. What's been new in the life of Brendan Traxler?
The crazy week last week, so not really much of anything, honestly.
What's the Mississippi weather looking like right now?
It was in the 60s today.
It was like up to 50 today, which is like summertime for South Dakota winter, so not too bad. But yeah, we've been doing some stuff. We've been doing a little bit of work. We got some projects that you and I are working on, some stuff that we're trying to get together and do some stuff. I'm sure we'll touch on some of it today, but
we will, because it affects this.
It affects this. But anyways, what do you got on for today's topic, my friend?
One thing that popped up in Discord, I don't know, it's been a month or two ago, and there's a bunch of conversation back and forth talking about wireless communication underwater for underwater habitats, and the guy who was proposing it was proposing like an intranet, so it's like a closed loop thing where it was no communication with the service.
Right?
Could you have that underwater? Which then got me thinking. Well, I know sonar is one form of communication, a way that you can communicate. What else is there out there? So I started hitting up different companies trying to see what's out there, and so that led us to, what we got here. So I actually had a conversation the other day with a company, and I'll talk about them in a second. But they gave me the whole 101 on underwater communication, on what's out there, what's been out there, and stuff along those lines. So I figured, what a great topic, what a timely topic, because it's something we're going to have to address sooner or later. And so we'll talk about that a little bit tonight.
Good. Yeah. Because that's something that we have been getting. Like I said, we've had discussion in Discord about it. Me and you've had discussions about it, because being underwater, you have a different type of environment that you have to work through as far as, whether it's internet and phone and just whatever, because everything has to work a little bit differently, not only between your structure, but just going through the water as well, and how you have your systems running. So an interesting concept nonetheless.
Yeah, because water is so much more dense than air. It just doesn't travel the same way as it would through air. So you can't just, a cell tower underwater and it works just like we would on land. So and we'll get into that a little bit. But talking about that, there are basically three different types of, actually four. There's four different ways you can send, let's say, back up here. There's four common ways that you can send information through the water. I'll go down the list here. There's pros and cons to each one. And the first one is, sonar, sound-based. And there's a company out there called Sonardyne, which this company led me to. They say if you really want to get into that, Sonardyne might be the company for you. They've got decent bandwidth on their stuff. The thing with sonar is it's been around for a long time, so it's a very tested technology. We know how it works. We know the pros and the cons of it, and so it's a technology that military obviously uses. So it's been advanced. So it's got decent bandwidth for it. It's, like I said, testing technology. The cons to the whole thing is that there's a lot of belief, and there's been a lot of study that sonar has an impact on marine life. And so with our ethos of, hey, we're not trying to damage the environment, and we're there to help it, sonar may not be the best avenue if there is any risk of affecting that. Plus you get signal degradation because it is a sound-based thing trying to go through a water, sound travels great through it, but you do get disbursement through there. So because it's also a lower cost too, because it is such a well-used technology. So sound is a possibility. And I could see it almost as like an emergency failover or something like that, maybe. But there's a lot of documentation, there's a lot of websites, and there's a lot of tech out there on it. So, and really, I started looking at price points and stuff like that. And it's not too bad either. So it is a Sonardyne, for example. They've got you can buy all the stuff, modems, antennas, and stuff like that. The thing that with a lot of these is the problem comes that you have to have a receiver you have to have a sender in the water, and then a receiver at your habitat, your sub, your ROV, whatever it is. And a lot of times it's only a one-way communication. So then you have to have two, one to send one way and then another one to send it back the other way. So a lot of times that comes in. So it adds to the cost. Plus, then you have to have a way of getting it out of the water to the land or to the air. So there's several hops you have to go through and stuff too.
Bulky.
Yeah, it is. And every time there's a point, there's another point of failure too. You really don't want that in anything you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Which then leads us to the second one, which is laser. LiDAR-based things. I think most people are familiar with lasers, and it's been, that is going to be your quickest, your best bandwidth. I mean, you can push some data through on a laser really easy. The problem with that, and like I say, and it's tested technology just like sonar. It's been around for a long time. We've been using it. Military's been using it. There are underwater applications that are testing out and using laser communication right now. But the cons are it is really short distance, and if anything gets in its way whatsoever, it's over with because it's a laser. So you get a fish that swims through your laser, you're going to drop out packets.
It's kind of like back in the day where when you were on dial-up and someone called you, you just got kicked off the internet. It's the same thing. We can't be having that.
Yep. And the other thing is, corrosion. So you got those laser lenses that are with anything like underwater, you always get corrosion over it. So you always got to be cleaning those lenses. They keep your optimal bandwidth. So there's a lot of maintenance to them as well. But if you got those systems in place, you can really push some data through there really fast too. So you could have a multiple laser array set up to take care of that. That's another possibility. Then this company I talked to, C Signum is what they're called. They're testing similar to a cell phone signal underwater. It's like a low band radio. So the pros, and it's a patented. They're the only ones doing it. They're working on it right now. It's really, really new. So there's not tons of information on it. She even told me, she's like, it's not what you guys want. She goes, we're so early on in this thing, it wouldn't work for you guys. We're not pushing enough bandwidth to do much with it. She's like, but obviously down the road that may change. The really great thing about this is because that it will get to its point. So with sonar and everything like that, it has a hard time getting through like concrete or metal,
right?
And interferences like that. It will get through anything. It gets through all that kind of stuff. And if stuff gets in its way, it works its way around it pretty much. So it's great for getting to where you need it to get to. And the other thing with theirs is it's the only one that you can have the receiver outside in the air or on land and get through the water into your thing. So it's both two-way. So it solves all the issues that you have there. The only downside is the bandwidth.
Right.
And so in the years, hopefully it'll get there. But right now, they say mostly they're looking at stuff that sits underwater. And the other thing is it's not super far. They said right now they're looking at 10 meters, which would work for us, right. But they're looking at just stationary weather things that are sitting there to get information to and from that doesn't take up a lot of data. So again, a potential, but that's still years down the road.
Right.
And then last but not least is the old fiber cable laying on the bottom of the ocean floor. Mm-hmm. I still think this is going to be our number one. It can go up at least 3.5 kilometers without any degradation. So it can go a long ways. It's reliable. There are no degradation. There is no interference, minimal interference. You don't have to worry about line of sight. You don't have to worry about corrosion. You don't have to worry about any of the things you normally do. The problems with it is that it's static. So if you've got something that wants to move, say your habitat does move, you can't really easily move it from point A to point B without running a whole new cable. The costs can be kind of pricey, especially when you're dropping fiber. I know back in the IT days when I was doing that, we didn't drop fiber too much just because of the costs. unless you just had to really go a long ways. You didn't do fiber. And the other thing is there's one point of failure. So, yeah, if the fiber gets cut, you're going to be without internet.
Right.
So those are the 4 basic communication forms that you've got for getting information from the service to anything underwater, sub, ROV, in our case, a habitat. So there you go. So no, but so I think that what comes down to this: whatever we do, it's ideal for anything we do, especially underwater, to have failovers, to have redundancies. Same thing with this. Your fiber is going to be your main line. It's going to be what we rely on day in and day out. But if there is some kind of emergency, it makes sense to have one of these, either like an emergency buoy on a tether that goes up to the surface and can beam out a signal for, just emergency information or whatever, or until the fiber gets fixed, or something along those lines, or which would probably be sonar at that point in time, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. Unless it is something on a tether they can go up and then just attach to a cell phone, like a Starlink system that you have on your habitat, then detaches, floats to the surface, goes off, and then you got satellite internet, which would still probably work too. So there are avenues to go. There's options here for it. Once again, and like she said, we talked for quite a while. She's like, it's hard because you guys are nobody designs anything for underwater habitats. She's like, so you're in a field that there's nothing really for you guys. She's like, you need to be hitting up these forums and these events and stuff. She's like, there aren't really in America. She's like, there's several in Europe right now going on that are like tech events for ROVs and underwater communication. And there's a couple in America. She's like, if you guys are really serious about that, you need to be hitting those guys up and just putting feelers out there and seeing who you can work with. But she's like, because right now you're going to have to hodgepodge something together to make it work for a habitat. I'm like, you're preaching to the choir. This is what we've been dealing with, type of thing. So I get it. So it was cool. It's a good conversation. Like I say, tons of information.
A lot of it is going to come down to, and this goes with a lot of what we're doing. I'm stumbling across my words. I apologize. We have everything we need to make every aspect of this thing work. It's a matter of like how bulky it'll be and how many things we have to have running in and out, So it's just like, means there's not a lot of progress I shouldn't say progress. There's a lot of progress from the sounds of it in underwater wireless, but means it's not up to par yet. We can still use like you said, the fiber optics and for doing that, whether it's you have like a buoy or a platform that's floating on the surface that's pulling from Starlink, or you hardwire it to the shore, whatever it is. So we still have those options. The same with, getting clean water and air and all that stuff to it too. There's so many, it's doable. There's nothing saying we can't. It's a matter of, we want this, in the final goal someday to be like, everything is available without being so invasive and taking up a lot of space. Like everything, your habitat is more for living or more, work utilization, whatever it is you're using it for, than the space having to be used up for like utilities and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess what you're trying to say is also you want it to be, the end goal is it to be as standalone as possible.
Yes.
You don't want to be dependent upon the surface. The prototype obviously is going to be, I would say, on a technological level, same as Jules, whereas everything is coming from the surface, your air, your water, your power, your communication. It's all going to be coming down through cables and pipes to the thing. Will we test with some failover capabilities? If the budget is there, obviously, yes, that'd be awesome to be able to test a bunch of different stuff out on this early on. I've got some ideas for different things and some marketing things too, whether it's webcams, completely off subject, but there's a website out there. I need to find it and we can do a link on it or something like that, where you can pay to drive an ROV around from your computer over in not Alaska, Australia and stuff. there's like, but this guy set up a website and he's got like half a dozen ROVs, and you pay by I think like the half hour or something like that, and you just drive an ROV around.
That's
It's super
awesome.
cool. It is really cool. But I'm saying you can do the same thing with underwater habitat as a revenue stream too. Is have ROVs or have live webcams and stuff along those lines. There's so many different things you can do with a stationary object to test these different technologies and different marketing ideas too. So the verticals are endless when it comes to this type of thing. But at first, we're just going to be hardwired in. That's about it.
Put the link to the ROV in the notes, please. Yeah, Brendan.
Yeah, I'll have to find that. It was that one girl that we were trying to get on, the marine biologist that was playing Subnautica. You know, I showed you that one time. Anyway, she was doing it on one of her lives a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I forgot to send the link to you. But yeah.
Babe, are you at work right now or are you at home? Why are you not on with us right now?
He's enjoying his furnace working probably.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd appreciate that too. But yeah, it's he's home. Yeah, like I said, everything's available. I've always kind of thought being able to, and it kind of syncs up really good with how Starlink is progressing, to where, say like we did put one of these way out in the middle of nowhere. Well, now you have a system where, like I said, you still have to, have some sort of platform or a buoy that gets a signal and then hardline it down. But at least like you can be in the middle of nowhere technically and still have access to some form of internet.
And say, we always look at habitats as being completely submerged and there's no external access. But if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you may have a dock up on the surface that, and you got either an elevator or stairway or something like that down to the habitat. So you have an external access for communication and stuff. Wouldn't be a big deal. That's the beauty. Once again, like I keep on saying every time, it's the beauty of this. No design is wrong. You can do whatever, whether it is a Poseidon Undersea Resort and or Atlantis Sea Colony or Jules, 3 different design ideas here that Aquarius, Con Shelf. There's been so many different designs. There's not a wrong one. It's just for the needs for that time and for that purpose. So
yeah. Sorry. But yeah, it's going to be important to have something on the ready because, like you said, just for safety reasons, and granted, all of our tests and stuff are going to be very close to shore and very close to land, and a lot of our stuff is going to be hard lined in to get everything, tested out and ready. But that's one of the things we have to think about and be ready for is that once we get further along in the thing, we have to think about. I brought up last time or the week before the whole. I'm sorry, I can't get this cat to leave me alone. To get think of it like the International Space Center, International Space Station, where they have to have all these fail safes, and they have to have fail safes to their fail safes, and they have to have fail safes for those fail safes. So it's like because when something goes wrong, it's not just like I'll have a guy here in the morning to fix it. It's like, no, like everything you have to have so many, contingencies to make sure everything, for safety reasons. So yeah, I like the idea of like, hey, just having your primary communication, whether it's having good internet to where you can make you can make calls via the internet, or having that, I guess the equivalent of like GPS phones, like what hikers and stuff use when they go into places that don't have cell signal, that they can still make an emergency contact if they need to. Like I said, whether that's like, an emergency buoy that transmits a radio signal or whatever it is. So yeah, having, like I said, contingency is going to be important for when these habitats are a lot more isolated and like being very self-sustainable to where, like I said, that immediate contact is not there.
Right. Like I say, and by that point in time, years down the road, when we're working on those, maybe some of these other technologies have matured enough where they can address that need as well.
Yeah.
And talking about redundancies, it reminds me of when I was down at Jules when Thane was showing me their generator room, some of those things. I think there was a triple redundancy there for their stuff there. So yeah. It's all about that redundancy.
Yeah. And well, it's all about safety is what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I think I'm just beating a dead horse with this, but it's just like need to have as many like I said, redundancies, I guess is the best word for it, is making sure every utility you have a backup to. Especially if it's a life sustaining utility. Obviously internet's not required for life. I mean, we definitely feel like it, but
well, but at the same time, you got to have some whether it's just a radio buoy, even whatever. You got to get communication out there for an SOS or something. This is what I'm talking about.
Remember when Captain Murphy had the pirate radio station from Sea Lab?
That's true. Yeah, once again, you could do that too. You don't want to be like in the middle of your Twitch stream, owning some noobs, and the fiber gets cut, then you lose your game. So you got to have that redundancy, obviously.
Wouldn't that be so fun just to be like gaming and like you just look to your right and see a dolphin or something swim by?
Your backdrop, your desk, your backdrop's the window.
People are like, "That's a pretty sweet background." And you're like, "Yeah, it's real."
Yeah.
Like, nah. But
yeah. So anyway,
I digress.
I will definitely throw the link, babe, for that ROV thing in website. Probably throw it to you so you can make a post about if I can find it. I'll throw it in the show notes as well here too. But actually, I just him and me were emailing back and forth just this morning. Dennis Chamberlain, I'm sure, has some great ideas for backup systems. Yeah. I don't know where he's at with his project. I emailed him about it and he hasn't responded to that. We were talking about something else. So, but yeah, I don't remember what he talked about in his book. I'd have to check. It's been several years since I read that book. Mm-hmm. But you have to look at that too.
He's definitely got to have something because just of his work with NASA. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of NASA, but yeah.
Wow.
His work with NASA, I'm sure that's one of his forte is being able to figure out contingencies and all that.
Anyway, I'm not sure what that means, babe. I.
Or is it a 1? Is it a Roman numeral 1?
No, it'd still be an I.
But it's a capital I. Yep, what you said.
Anyway, so if there's no feedback on that, let's move on to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show here. This is about Dennis doing it for now.
A little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah. So going off of what we were talking about last week about time, and Babe and I talked about this a little bit the other night as well, just about busy we are focusing on stuff. Where's the right focus and stuff on those lines? Adam and me have had conversations about this, and we've come to the conclusion that the Tuesday night live stream as it is going to change. It is not going to be every Tuesday from now on. We will still do live streams. I'm assuming they'll probably be on Tuesdays because it works. But we're only going to do them when we have something valid. I'm not saying these aren't valid, but these are just good conversation pieces, which I enjoy doing them, and we get good feedback on them. But interviews, stuff specific to underwater habitats, like Babe, what he's working on, real updates on our project and the updates on that. And then we're going to use the time that we normally be doing this to be working more on the business. We've got some different things we're working on, and it's just a time thing. So because time is precious and Adam's working a full-time job and I'm running all over God's green earth here doing multiple different things, that's going to be our focus. So the live stream is not dead. The podcast is not dead, but it is definitely evolving into a probably once a month or when we have good stuff. Basically interviews, Babe stuff or updates for ASC Colony.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. And then, I mean, like, you and I were talking, yesterday, day before, yesterday. It's just like, just making sure that we can provide like good, or like a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of more information because, like I said, not that anything we've done, I feel, has been a waste of time or anything like that. It's just, I don't want to feel like we're constantly have to push something either, just for the sake of the fact that, like, oh, well, it's Tuesday night, we have live stream, we have to figure out something to talk about, because then it's not even like you're not putting your whole heart into it, or you're not, you know what I mean, like where you spend more time worrying about that rather than like,
yeah,
if we adjust the frequency, then it's just like, okay, we have more time to put together something really time worthy of doing it. And then, like you said, with having, you know, when Babe's available to help out and when he has time too, if he throws stuff together, or, you know, if we get those rare opportunities where we can get people to come on with us or whatever, or we do interviews, I mean, then that kind of could be a change in it too.
Here's the other thing. We are all about somebody else running this thing too. If there's somebody out there that wants to talk to us and wants to take over doing a weekly show for ASC Colony about ocean-based things, hey, hit us up. We're all about doing that, because I'd like to keep this going. And that's always my vision from the very beginning, is we get this thing going and other people would come in eventually and help us out and take it over and stuff like that. So yeah, if you're interested in doing that, let me know. I would gladly talk to you, give you the tools you need. We can vet you and all that kind of stuff. As Babe says, we still have to have Adam screaming at Halloween. Yes, Adam will still do his live streams.
We'll pick another horror game next Halloween.
Yeah.
We got plenty of time to look into it, though. Yeah, just because I was telling Brennan, it's like, you know, for our Tuesday nights, you know, we always obviously set time aside for this, unless we have to have other things going on. I think there's only been one time that you've actually missed it, and that's when you had your kidney stones, and then I think I've missed a couple times due to, you know, family stuff.
You're not getting Taco Bell or something like that. And
that one time I went to get B-dubs and I completely forgot that we were doing live stream.
Yeah.
That was still towards the very beginning, though. I deserve a pass on that. But yeah, just so, and then, you know, we're going to spend our Tuesday nights and more of our time focused on the, you know, the stuff that's in the background, and hopefully be able to make progress with that to share with you on the live streams. Which
is another thing also too. I think we need to set a date for our first Discord or our Patreon one, which I think we only have to do it in Patreon. We can do it in Discord as well, whichever. But our for Patreon focused live event for Shop Talk, we've got a whole litany of list of parts we're going through and talking about stuff along those lines too. So we need to be scheduling that first. So for Patreon members, they can be part of that. So there will be that event as well outside of anything public going on, for you guys to partake of. Yeah. And also, yeah. So yeah, that's good. That's what's going on with us. I'm not thrilled with it because I like doing this thing every Tuesday, but if I'm concerned that if we don't do it, this is going to drag out too much longer, and my patience is wearing thin. And I've got some patience, but it is what it is. Babe says, I like it. I hope there could be enough interviews and content for a couple of times a month in the future, that is. I do too.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, Babe has been working on stuff.
Yeah.
He's been a very busy man lately, as are a lot of us. But, you know, when his schedule allows, he's going to be doing some of that stuff. He's been talking with people about doing interviews, which is, like I said, we talked about a little bit earlier, is awesome, because for a while there, me and you were both trying to do that, where it's just like, and I don't mind chasing people down for it, but I would like to keep my focus on trying to do the business side of it. As much like I said, I love doing this too. It's fun talking with people, getting to meet with all of our our friends on here and that interaction, but also making sure that we have good content and being able to tell you guys that we actually have some stuff that we're working on. We can be doing this for 5 years straight, but if we're doing a live stream every week and we still have nothing to show for it, it's a problem. So Brett and I are gonna be going to the grind.
Going to the grind, huh?
Going to the grind.
Yep. So anyway, the only thing so there's nothing else going on, but I do have next Thursday, we have got Ignition Con, which Adam, I need you for a few minutes after this to do some final testing for that. Okay, Babe's got a bunch of stuff he's throwing out there. We throw it up real fast. What Babe's talking about? We'll get this ready.
Yeah, he says video while building and getting into the water, then live webcams when possible. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's the goal, is that eventually we can be doing live streams and videos as we're working on the habitat and as we're getting it lowered in and all that. So yeah, that'd be the ultimate goal. Is we'd love to be able to, even if we just set up a webcam that like live stream of the habitat.
Yep.
Even if it's just sitting on a lot, in between while we're working on it and stuff, you can just stare at it and you're like, there's so many like crazy live streams out there to this day. Like that used to be a big thing, like in the I guess like the early 2000s, like when people would do live streams for just really weird stuff, but a lot of them are still going on now. We can join that. Also, he said his schedule got shoved back a month or so due to the furnace issues. Man, being a homeowner sucks. So I'm there with you, babe. We had in September like some big plumbing issues we had to take care of at my house, and that sucked. So I get it, man. And that was all in my basement too, where I do all this recording too. So that was fun. Anywho, Brendan.
Yep. So yeah, next Thursday, I guess next Thursday, the 20th, 17th at 17 UTC, which I think is 11 Central Time, is Ignition Con. It will be live stream. No, you will not be able to interact, unfortunately. I will be doing the live stream of it. That's why, Adam, you have to test here one more time. I think it's working fine, but I want to double check one more thing. We've got Jan Koblick and Jim Miller, who, if anybody knows, they wrote the Living and Working in the Sea, the Bible to Underwater Habitats. They're going to be there. They'll be speaking. Sylvia Earle is scheduled to be speaking as well. They got her. Then we've got some other people from the Space Administration, different engineers, underwater engineers, stuff along those lines. So it's going to be a big deal. So that'll be that. After it goes live, the schedule is to take it down, to edit out any dead space and stuff like that, and then repost it. So it's a little bit more condensed because there will be breaks and stuff in this. So that's all going on. But anyway, so that's next Thursday. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoying that. We will be throwing out the YouTube link to that by the end of the week, I know. So it should be fun. It should be good. The whole purpose. So if you know any investors looking to do anything, send them our way, because that's really what the focus of the thing is, to try to find investors and to bring some hype and some energy around underwater habitats. So that's really why this is all being done.
Yeah, that'll be very very cool to be able to do that. Plus, it's international bonding. Like we're working with the international community on this. It's great. Yep. What the world needs now. Will I get copyright strike for that?
Were you singing it?
It's love, sweet. Not hardly. Oh, okay. I don't know. So I don't got anything else to go over, my nope. Handsome friend.
We hammered down all the points we needed to this week.
Let me get ready to do the thing.
You need to get ready to do that thing. Yeah, I'll throw the little links up there for you.
Yep. Let's hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Why am I share screen? It's easy because you're beautiful. All right, so guys, this is AtlantaSeaColony.com. This is where you can go to find all of our stuff. So you see this right here? It says Atlanta Sea Colony. All right, you go down. Or I'm sorry, go up. Social media. Let's start with that. Social media. We got your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, podcast, TikTok, and our merch. I'm gonna get to that merch in just a second because I'm gonna show you all that. But you're probably thinking.
I did take. Yeah, you notice I took the little links up off the top right.
Yes.
Last time.
Appreciate that. What's private and business? Huh? Is this you describing what the?
Yes.
Yeah. Look at those cool visuals. By the way, Brent and I are working on getting some new renditions made too.
Babe's seen them. They look pretty sweet.
Yes, they do look sweet. Anyways, sorry. Resources. I'm going to have you see the resource page quick. So if you're interested in any of these podcasts, also there's books down here too that you can check out. We just talked about Dennis Chamberlain a little bit ago. He's one of the authors right there.
And Living and Working the Sea right there too.
That one too you were talking about. So yeah, check out all that stuff. Also, let me get back to the main page here.
You could have done it at the top. There was,
sorry. Ways to partner with us. So we got two ways that you can do like a one-time donation if you guys are feeling ever so generous. The first one being PayPal, which is www.paypal.me/Atlanta Sea Colony. You can do any dollar amount there. You could donate like $7.67 or $8.5 million. So it's just like whatever you got laying around, just go ahead and do it. Cash App as well. A lot of people are doing like the Cash Apps and stuff like that for easy money transfers and stuff like that. It's a good little deal. Also, Patreon. Brennan, I'm going to load up Patreon. You want to tell them about the Patreon quick?
The Patreon, those are our guys that have been with us, most of them now for quite a while. We've got, we updated the different tiers on there. As you can see, we got the shark tier, octopus tier, manta tier. In our shark tier, we've got Edward Haas, Brian Acosta, Babe Hyde, Martin Reese. And then our octopus tier, we've got Matthew Cathy. The $5 a month is just for those guys that, it's just your entry level. And a lot of those guys have been grandfathered into the other because they've been with us for so long that out of the generosity of my heart, I did that because I love you guys and I appreciate you. And then we got the $15 a month, which gives you a couple more perks if you want to scroll down there so you can see all the little perks on there. You can click on, so you get Discord events, the shop talk, the personalized messages, which should be going out here pretty soon. For the $15, if you go $25, you get Patreon only merch. Is only the real big difference on that thing there. But I'm telling you what, right now, this is going to be a steal because in a few years, this will not be available anymore. You will not be able to be a part of Atlanta Sea Colony like that because
you won't.
No, we will take it away because first off, we're going to make changes. I'm just saying it right now. The Patreon will eventually go away, or it'll be more expensive.
I love how you're being so vague about that.
I just threw it off my head.
Threatening us.
Yeah. No, it's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that eventually, we'll see. I say that off the cuff, but maybe I'll stick around. It's years away. Nothing to worry about right now. I don't know. I'm just talking right now. That's it. I just literally just thought of it right now. So don't hold me to it. Don't go back years from now and say, hey, he said it's going to go away. Because like anybody does with me, it could all change tomorrow.
Anyways, also
that was a disaster. Let's just cut out that whole section right there because I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
I'm telling you guys right now. All right, guys, this is the merch store.
The merch store is going away next year.
Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what we're looking to do. Is hire. No. Anyways.
9 of them.
Okay, sorry. We're laughing about stuff we don't need to be. Where am I at? Oh yeah,
Merch.
kids shirts. You got a little kid in your life? You want to put a shirt on them? Come on over to ASCcolony.com/merch, and you can do that. I know there's actually a lot of cool gear on here.
There it is.
I use my allowance on a bunch of Bengals gear because that's who I am. But next chunk is going to get. I think I said this last time, but I need a polo because I have to wear nicer clothes. Look at this. Look at what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. It's so not me, but like I have to wear nicer clothes at work now. Like I can't just wear like a raggedy t-shirt. So it's just like I want to wear something that represents Atlanta Sea Colony at work, and I can't wear hats either, so I can't wear a hat there. But I'm like I could do a polo, So yeah, I need to get a polo. Either that or I could get myself one of these tank tops.
That's a women's one, but I hope you don't get that one there. But
I'd wear a long sleeve underneath it. Come on now. Anyways, now there's a lot of cool stuff on there, guys. Like I said, there's kids' clothes. There's all types of if you want coffee thermoses and travel mugs and I said coffee mugs. Sorry, water bottles, hoodies, and yeah, we got like 7 pages of stuff, so it's just like go check it out.
I just cut it down too. I took out a bunch of stuff not too long ago. So
yeah, and anytime that you buy a piece of merch, we get a little bit of cut of that too, just like the other stuff. So it's just like it helps us out, and it's good promotion too. Like you got yourself one of these ASC shirts, and people are like, "Oh man, what's ASC?" And you're just like, "Well, let me tell you about it." And then next thing you know, that guy's writing us a check for $3 million.
It hasn't worked so far at the gym for me. Let me tell you that much.
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with the shirt. I think it has everything to do with you're not very approachable.
Oh yeah, just checking out the chicks working out. Like, hey, just push up against the glass.
Yeah, you keep saying you go to the gym, but you're standing outside of the gym looking.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyways, guys, so yeah, that's all of our stuff. Also, Discord. Go to the Discord. We always have good stuff going on in the Discord. You can find that on, I gave the link to that on the website. Brennan usually throws it in the comments or whatever.
Yeah, it's in the show notes. I put it in the show notes every time anymore.
Okay.
So yeah.
So it's in the show notes. Yeah, check out the Discord. Join us. Have some fun there. We got a growing community. We get a few new members every week. So it's nice.
Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. I've been going back through the episodes and timestamping them now too to make them a little more valuable. So you don't have to watch the whole episode anymore if you don't want to. You can just get right to the bread and butter of what's going on. If you don't want to listen to the 3 or 4 minute intro of Adam and me talking, you can get right to what we're talking about. So I've been doing
bread and butter.
I do too.
But jam.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Brendan,
yeah.
I got nothing else.
All right, man.
Guys,
thank you, guys.
We'll have another update about how we'll do an update of what our next live stream will be. We should probably let them know that if we talked about cutting back, we never said when the next one will be.
Yeah.
But, we'll have that info up very soon. So
yes.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you again soon.